What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Monday's episode of the Plus Money Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Q. You can follow me on all socials at Bets by Q. And of course, this podcast is brought to you by Black Sheep Betting, where it is a dog's world. Not much to gloat about over the weekend. Got absolutely destroyed by the books. I couldn't hit water if I was thrown off of a boat. And I tell you, look, these are the highs and lows of betting. The highs are never as high as they seem, and the lows are never as low as they feel. In this, look, if chess is a sport, then gambling should be a sport, okay? And so when I say in this sport, you have to be a closer, okay? A closer goes out there, they blow a save, but they got to go out there the next night and do their job and shut the door on their opponent. And that's what I expect to do, okay? Put on my number 42, my best Mariano Rivera impression, and we're going to look to close the door on these books. There's no such thing as a lock in this world, okay? So, look, we're going to win more than we lose, not just here on the podcast, but in the Discord as well. Look, last week, we split our units. Sabalenka really just the mental prowess of Alina Rybakina was absolutely insane. I felt like Sabs in a lot of ways handed her that match, but we'll digress from the losses. We have to move on. As my boy Ted Lasso says, be a goldfish. All right. We are moving on. I do have two plays for you today. One from the U.S. Open qualifiers. Insane that we're already at the U.S. Open stage of the tour, the final Grand Slam. We'll talk more later this week about who I think some of the best bets for futures as far as the U.S. Open goes. But let's hop right into our first pick. I'm going to be going to Dan Evans versus Lloyd Harris. This matchup will begin around 3:40 Eastern Time over here in the U.S. But Dan Evans might be on the back nine of his career. But I'm telling you that he might just have one more fight in him, and I think it's going to show here today against Lloyd Harris. We're heading to the U.S. Open qualifiers. I'm backing Evans to get this one done in straight sets. It's plus 150. I love this value, but this is a spot where motivation and matchup and history all kind of align. And Evans knows he has to qualify just to reach the main draw in New York, and every match matters, I feel like, at this point in his career. This is the same guy that played the longest match in U.S. Open history last year against Karen Khachanov, over 5.5 hours of grit, a fight of pure entertainment. There was a moment where Khachanov was up 4-0 in the third set, Dan was able to turn the match around and come out on top. He's recently proven that he's got some of that left in the tank. He's got 3 top 50 wins in the past few weeks, including one over Alex Michelson, who I think's been playing some of his best tennis in the last month. So now we look at this matchup with Lloyd Harris. It's classic. Lloyd Harris is a big server, and he's got that forehand 1-2 punch combination. And against weaker opponents, that tends to be enough. But Evans is not that type of guy. His whole game is built to frustrate players like Harris. He's the definition of a pusher on tour. The slice backhand, the changes of pace, the ability to extend rallies. He drags opponents into patterns they don't like. These low skidding slices. It's going to take Harris out of rhythm. It's going to force him to hit up on the ball, to neutralize his power. And once Harris has to play more than a few balls, that's where the cracks are going to show in his game. Head-to-head, Evans owns this 2-0. Look, their first match, one of these matches is 7 years ago, but Evans won these both in straight sets. that's not luck to me. It's style versus style, and Evans' variety has consistently beaten Harris's predictability behind his serve and forehand. So you add that into the mix, and add in that Harris isn't even close to his peak. He's outside the top 300. His best ranking on tour, I believe, is in the top 30, while Evans is still knocking off ranked players. The edge just becomes really clear here for me. Lots of qualifying games, but this one is all about contrast. Harris needs quick points. Evans makes them long. Harris needs rhythm. Evans' game is built around taking rhythm away. You mix in that motivation factor, one more U.S. Open push, and it's hard not to see him really locking in. The play here is Dan Evans to win in straight sets plus money. Motivation, matchup, history, they all point to Evans handling this one. I don't think he's going to give Harris a lifeline. All right. Second play of the day, we're going to shift over to Citizens Bank Park for a Phillies versus Mariners matchup. And I'm not just playing the Phillies here. I'm going to be taking them on the run line, plus 151. Phillies minus 1.5 because the numbers and the trends, they line up really well for this bet. The Phillies they haven't just been winning in their games. They've been winning big. 8 of their last 10 wins have come by at least 2 runs. Their lineup is deep, it's dangerous, and right now it's producing. Kyle Schwarber has been the tone setter here. 102 RBIs in the season with 34 home runs. Plus his on-base numbers. I mean, this gives this a chance to cash every single time. Runners are on. He's in a position to put some runs on the board. He's their engine at the top and one of the most consistent run producers in the league. If it weren't for like aliens like Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani and Cal Raleigh, I mean, we're looking at a front runner for MVP. We may even see that as the season progresses. But Seattle, on the other hand, right now, it's a tough team to figure out because I follow the AL West. That's why we're on this matchup in particular. But they've lost 7 of their last 10 losses have come by multiple runs. They've including 3 of their last 4. They're coming off a 4-run loss yesterday. Their offense has been streaky all year. Yes, they've got the AL MVP front runner in Cal, who's having probably the best season by a catcher that we've ever seen. Power numbers, clutch hits. He hit a home run last night. He's carrying this team offensively. But outside of him, some of these new pieces, they just haven't quite clicked yet. And when this lineup goes cold, it really goes cold. Case in point, just 4 total runs across their last 2 games. And if you strip away that 11-9 win against the Mets, they've only put up 10 runs in their other 4 most recent games combined. On the mound today, we have Ranger Suarez for the Phillies against Logan Gilbert for Seattle. Gilbert's solid, but Suarez has been dependable, and he's got the stronger lineup behind him. They're just clicking a lot more. I know Suarez has been kind of finicky post the All-Star break, but I really, in a home hitter friendly park, it's hard not to see the Phillies doing damage here. Logan Gilbert could pitch lights out, but even when this bullpen steps in, I think the Phillies are going to be able to get to them. So the trends just tell the story in this one. Phillies win. Philly wins big. Seattle loses big. And the bets are on the better form on the home side. I'm locking in the Phillies minus 1.5 at plus 151. Not just to win, but we will win comfortably. Okay, so we have 2 bets on the board, 2 units on the board. We've got Evans, Dan Evans against Lloyd Harris to win in straight sets plus 150. And I'm rolling with the Phillies minus 1.5 plus 150 against the Mariners. 2 plays, both with value in both spots. I feel really good about. That'll wrap it up for today. As always, my name is Q, and I'll be back here tomorrow with more plus money plays from around the sports world. I hope each and every one of you hit each and every one of your bets. See you tomorrow.